Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to another weekly market forecast. And this covers for December 1st to December 5th, 2025. Happy New Month, guys. My name is Yemi Olaleye. And this week we're looking at the fundamental outlook to start with on the High Impact News Focused from the forestfactory.com. And the names we have for this week is the JPY starting with that on US dollar on Monday, December 1st, 8 a.m. Nigerian time and 4 p.m. Nigerian time for JPY and US dollar ISM manufacturing PMI. And on Tuesday, we don't have any high impact news. On Wednesday, we have one from AUDCHF and US dollar 1:30 a.m. Nigerian time. We're focusing on the ADP non-farm employment change on US dollar 2:15 p.m. Nigerian time. And this is a great outlook for the week. And also on Thursday, there's only one single high impact news, which is focused on US dollar unemployment claims 2:30 p.m. Nigerian time. On Friday, we have another one from the Canadian dollar and US dollar, which wraps up for the week. And on Canadian dollar, it's coming out about 2:30 p.m. Nigerian time on employment change and unemployment rate. And of course, 4 p.m. Nigerian time for the US dollar core PCE price index and prelim UM inflation expectation. And this is the highlight of the high impact news that we have for this week. Going forward straight to the technical part of the business, and let's see what we have and what opportunity the market puts for us for this week. Starting from the weekly time frame perspective of the market down to the 4-hour time frame, let's see our buyers and let's see what we can do. Starting with the DXY, of course, as usual, let's see what we have here based on what we've done from last week. Last week was a significant sell momentum on the DXY, and if you look at this, it's still very much aligning with a common characteristics of a bullish trend, which is the higher highs and higher lows formation right here. And if you can see, you see that the price has been creating that structure consistently. Apart from the fact that this level has been a monthly demand zone, which we've talked about before now, look at it right here, a monthly demand zone, the price has been pushing. So that's why over the weeks, I've been talking more about expecting the price to attack this level to grab liquidity and also to see price doing something like this, afterwards getting here before we can expect sell momentum. So for me personally, I'm still looking into that direction of the market. I want to see how the price will actually get to this weekly demand zone, this to get to this weekly supply zone at around 1.104.00 psychological zone. So basically for me, that is my expectation on the weekly time frame perspective. On the daily, how does that look like? If I go to the daily time frame, there's nothing really going on there than what I've seen. I just want to see how the price will react further within this channel and create a balance, shifting back to the upside momentum, something like this, shifting back to the upside, which is very, very reasonable. And of course, if this continues selling for the week, there is a level it will sell to and break the previous low, and we're going to adjust to a sell or weak momentum for dollar for the week. But ideally, as it is, based on the weekly time frame perspective, we are still very much in buying momentum, and as well on the daily time frame perspective, we are still very much in buying momentum. So, which means we're expecting more buy from here. So, if you take this away, you will see that we have a common goal right here, a cycle that has been completed, a cycle which is not completed, and also this is the level we get into. So keeping that in mind on the DXY. Going forward, we go to the 4-hour time frame perspective. Nothing really here I want to talk about. The higher time frame perspective have done it for me. So on the higher time frame perspective, we have a buy. On the lower time frame perspective, it looks massive. Yeah, it looks bearish. In fact, a massive bearish on lower time frame, more than 1 hour, so to say. But this is a 4-hour time frame. It's still aligning with what? It's aligning with our higher highs and higher low kind of bullish formation. So right there, I'll be expecting more bullish momentum from this for the week. And this is the DXY 4-hour time frame perspective. Straight down to the Euro US dollar. Let's see what we have. And this also gave us some good profit last week, and it's a very good experience. So let's check out what we have from the weekly time frame and let's move forward from there. On the weekly time frame perspective, we saw what happened on the Euro US dollar last week. We had a significant buy momentum, even though we have a bearish range, right? And if you look at that perspective, you see that it's still aligning with our bearish range. Why? The market is creating consistent lower highs and lower lows over the time, and you can tell that this is more than 2 weeks, I guess. Yeah, sorry, I said 2 weeks, more than 2 months. So we'll be having that bearish momentum for more than 2 months in the market. And if you check where the market has actually pushed to, you realize that we've actually pushed deliberately into this range. And over time, the market always push into a direction and retrace and swing again. After retracement, it swing again and the rest of that. So basically, that's what we're experiencing right here. Lower highs and lower lows kind of creation. And I'm still expecting more bearish momentum in the market going forward into a monthly demand zone, which is right here. I've thought about this a couple of times, but let's see what we have from there on the lower time frame perspective. So going to the lower time frame perspective, checking out on the daily time frame, what do we have here? On the daily, it's important to note that last week we had more bullish momentum. Monday to Wednesday was fantastic buy in the market. Thursday and Friday was more of a range and ended this way. Now, when we have two candles ending this way, most of the times it's suggesting that we're going to continue a bullish momentum. Just that the fact that Friday actually came into this level to still wrap up without this, with this bullish momentum here. I'm skeptical about a more bullish momentum from here. It looks a bit tricky, but at the same time, let's see what we have. As I said, we are on a bearish momentum at the end of the day overall. Look at this bearish momentum, bearish momentum. But what we can do more is to find an opportunity to sell before we buy. And ideally, I'm looking for more sell momentum right here because I'll be expecting the price to take out this liquidity right below this level. If the price is actually doing that, that means I'm going to expect the price to create something like this going forward. And from there, I would realize what else I want to do with this market. Then that is on the daily time frame perspective. Let's go to the 4 hour to make it more better. And let's see the opportunity we have. On the 4 hours, it's actually looking like a range because what we have here is when there's opportunity below and above. And ideally, when we have a low right here, created a shift in that previous low, which is a higher low right there. And also we have a previous high. When we check, this is also a previous lower high right here. Now, which means that we can actually be expecting the price to take out a low level like this, and from there we have more sell momentum. At the same time, we can expect the price to actually still do more into going upward and continue smashing it upside. But currently, this is what we have on the 4 hour time frame. This looks a bit tricky, and at the same time, look at what we have here. It is very possible that we may actually see price bouncing into this level like this, selling into this range at the open of the market, taking out this high before moving. So this is also this is a three-directional momentum, which I'm expecting. This is also very, very possible in the market. So which means we may be having a sell just above this price level here. But I don't want to be drawing boxes up and down. Let me just go straight to the point. So I believe this is clear, right? I'm expecting the price to just react based on what we have here. We have opportunities on both sides. So I'm believing the price will actually probably just take the one on the bearish side to take the high before the buy side liquidity before we start moving down. So based on that, we'll be moving into the next one. This is EUR/US dollar, and let's see the opportunities on the other currency pairs. On the weekly time frame perspective for Great Britain pounds USD, what do we have? We have a significant bearish momentum as well, which is visible right there. Last week was a bullish one for Great Britain pounds US dollar as well, and we had more of a bullish trend. And currently, can we be expecting the price to actually just bounce and go straight to this level right here right away? Not really, we can't say that, but let's see what we have on the lower time frame perspective from the daily, for example. On the daily time frame, we can be sure that we saw significant push on the Wednesday and Tuesday of last week after the price has created a failure swing right here from this particular movement, which was on the candlestick for the Thursday, 20th of November, and that of the 21st November 2025 as well. Those two candles, they created a shift in that momentum, which was a failure swing, telling the buyers are much more in momentum and they're much more in charge in the market. I'm not going to check out this level. I'm not going to expect the price to get in here, but at the same time, I'm not expecting the price to start selling now because we cannot deny the fact that this momentum was much and it broke out the previous high, resting above it, and that literally means that we can be expecting more bullish momentum on the Great Britain pounds US dollar. Well, how that will happen regarding the correlation between this and EURUSD, I don't know, but basically, I told you we trade what we see on the chart. So basically, let's just do that and let's leave the rest of the story to the market. But ideally, I'm looking for more bullish momentum right here. This has shown a bearish momentum for some times, and it started picking up again, and we have failure swing to the upside, break the previous level, resting above it, and that really means that we may have a very good buy just around there. So this could be our results on the overall movement and outlook. But let's check what we have on the 4 hour time frame perspective. Let's see how that looks like, how that may likely play out on the Great Britain pounds AUD. Okay, so if we are going with that logic, therefore, what price level do we have a potential for a sell? Well, we can be expecting the price to still move into a range like this. We can expect the price to move into this kind of range from here to here. So basically, what I drew here is actually an alignment with what I'm expecting in the market. So I would just say I'll be expecting the price to pull this much, before we could have a sell again. But regardless of how long it could be, I'm willing to see more price pushing to the upside on Great Britain pounds, US dollar going forward for the week, and that is on that. So let's go to the AUD USD. On the AUD US dollar is one of those trades that gave us significant momentum last week. All right. On the weekly time frame perspective, since last year, this time last year, I talked about it that we've been expecting the price to get into this range. You see, this September 2024, expecting the price to move sluggishly and annoyingly into this range. But at a point, we started having this much range, and I wasn't really sure how long it would take to get here, which is understandable. But then, what was our outlook? I know on the weekly it's messy. No, there's nothing there. But on the daily time frame perspective, there is something I marked out for a couple of weeks ago. This level right here is a demand zone, which I marked out structurally, expecting the price to do what? As creating lower highs and lower lows. I'm expecting it to do what? To hit this level for a buy before we start having more conversation around these guys. So everything it was doing around that time, I'll care less to see. I just want to see it hitting that demand zone for a buy opportunity. So it came on this particular day, which was a Friday, 21st of November. It tapped into that momentum for a buy and it bought all through. It has bought more than what I projected at earlier points, but at the same time, my overall target is this high. It has done over 134 pips, and currently it's still on the move. And what can we say about this going on right now? So right there, I can tell that we have a bearish momentum here, lower highs and lower low formation. You can see the structure right there forming this one. So, sorry, I want to pull this arrow. I think this is better off. So we can have something like this. We can have something like this. As you can see, this is more of a trend line that the market has respected again. So let's see how this level will play out. This is my ultimate level, which I'm expecting it to tap into before we have more reaction. But right here, it's rested like this for the last trading day of last week. So let's see if it's going to break above or it's going to reject a little bit to find a liquidity zone, which I'm not saying yet. There's no liquidity zone for a buy that is valid for me right now on the daily time frame perspective. So I'll go to the 4-hour time frame and see what the market is doing. And with that being said, that means on the 4-hour time frame, I will definitely be looking for more push on the higher side. I will be looking for more momentum on the higher side. At the same time, there is an opportunity to see if the price can respect this level. So I'm taking out this one. This is the target. Okay, don't forget that's the target. But I just have to take it out. This is the target for the buy, but I have to take it out now. If you go to a lower time frame perspective, I think I can remove this one now. It has moved as we expected. This one is moving as we expected, so no issue with that. Now, this is the thing. I can be waiting to see the price momentum moving back into a range like this, which is a low probability range for me. It's a low probability range. It is a low probability range. This is about 77 pips. I think I'll just leave this guy. I will wait for it to get here. When it gets here, I can be shorting from here. I can short a little bit. So the reaction on the DXY will determine what exactly I'm going to do with that. But right there, it looked a bit tricky. I like, based on what I said, this is the target for me. I will expect it to move here, more likely to even keep buying. Okay, to even keep buying. But let's see how that play out. I'm not really sure of this guy much on that because it has given this momentum a sweet one right there. Failure swing preceded the entire buy. So it's a normal thing we've seen before. NZDUSD, nothing really here, nothing really here. The high targets, for those that took the buy earlier, I told them to keep buying till we get. So now the price has actually did a bit of this buy. It has done, this is more than a bit anyways. This is about 164 pips, which is significant. And it has broken the previous high structure, which is also a very good move. And at the same time, we can have the momentum more like it's going to attack this high level here. If we go to the daily time frame perspective, let's see what we have on the daily. This is looking good now. On the daily and the weekly time frame perspective, I gave out this zone before for a very long time. I think since September, I gave it out that we'll be buying from here. And that being said, now we had also a target which was around this price level here. Based on structure, don't forget everything we do here is based on what? Based on structure. And since the day the market tapped into this range, it has done about 155 pips, and I still expect it to do more more 75 pips at least to take out this level before we have significant bearish momentum. But otherwise, if the market creates an opportunity to see a bearish flow, why not? We're going to take a sell later. But currently, with this that we have here, it's looking more like this guy will continue buying into the higher price level. So we can sell from a premium level after this swing right there. We can sell off, but right now I'll be looking for more bullish momentum based on what it's saying. And one other secret, everything US dollar is Great Pounds US dollar is doing now, you see that NZD US dollar has done it before. So go and check that. So with another expo, you can always rely on. All right, that being said, going to 4-hour time frame perspective, it will not be just about repetition. So this is what we're having. The price data is kind of much. At the same time, you see it. All this sell, I projected it sold down this much, and this is more than 400 people, I guess. This is about 500 and something pips. So which means we already saw a few things ahead of time. So let's focus on that as well. Let's keep it simple and let's see how the markets will interact with that zone, and let's see how we can be profitable out of all of this. Now, USD CAD, this is a fantastic one. It's actually, let me start from the weekly time frame perspective. Because on the weekly, we add a zone which we're expecting the price to get here. Okay, I think I was using that zone for a class. Now, this is on the weekly time frame, buying and selling, buying and selling. But overall, we have higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. And with that, I'll be expecting the price to take out this liquidity in the future. So currently, it's still giving that much of buying vibe. There's nothing wrong with this that the market is actually doing. If you check it out, there's nothing absolutely wrong with this. This is just a normal buying and selling. The attributes of a bullish trend, higher highs and higher lows. So market is respecting that. So with that being said, now that means my bias would be buy on this particular one. But on the weekly time frame perspective, it's a buy. On the daily, can we say the same thing? For the last 4 days now, thereabout, it has been selling, dropping massively into this kind of range. And of course, if I was to go into the detail, I would have looked at this level, for example, to see reaction. And of course, this is more clearer on a lower time frame perspective, like the daily time frame perspective, like the 4-hour time frame perspective. So which means overall we're having a bullish momentum, tap into this range, continue buying. This is the expectation we have. So the only thing is if the SY will be going bullish, and why are we expecting bullish momentum on GBPUSD and NZDUSD? Well, I don't know how that will pan out, but that's basically what I'm seeing on the chart anyway. So let's see how that will unfold. We've seen it multiple times where they disrespect each other and the rest of that. Now, this is on a 4-hour time frame perspective of the USD CAD, as you can see. Right here, we have a significant push to a level. I missed this. I missed this entire entry. If I were expected it has actually smashed that zone because I was expecting it to sell for last week. You remember, I expected it to sell more into, I think, into this range, I guess, yes. And it did more of sell. It smashed through that level, but I didn't see it smash into here. There's another significant zone right there. As you can see, this is on 4-hour time frame perspective. And with this outlook, this looks bullish, right? It looks bullish. When we have a void, definitely we're looking for how the price will at least take it out completely in the market. So all of these that we're looking here at right here, we'll be expecting the price to push above it and go inside of it. Then we'll see more reaction, even from the lower time frame perspective. But I'll be setting up on a buy momentum right here on the 4-hour time frame perspective. I'll be looking at a buy. If the price actually buys, it buys to a level like, well, exactly, I can be expecting the buy to get into this level. I may expect it to buy into this level, which is around how many pips? It's about 220 pips to the current market price, which is a significant one too, right here. So we can actually still expect the price to do something like this and do something like this. From here, we know what to do next. Probably we're going to buy more or we're going to sell more. We're going to determine that when we get here. But so far, so well, this is what we see. So for me, it's okay. USD CAD going bullish. And then going to the next one, which is the USDJPY. I'll go to the weekly time frame perspective. This is also a fantastic a fantastic trade for the week, which also we check and it gave significant profit. Look at my last week outlook on it, expecting it to do what to buy. It bought a little, sold a little, ended as a doji, but here is my target right here, still sitting there. So I'm not taking it out. Everything I have here, I can remove this one. I think they are for classes. So one thing about the price is let it play out. At the end of the day, you'll be the one to benefit it. So let it play. This is a weekly time frame perspective. The price is already at the zone we're expecting a sell though, but I wanted to see if the price will be taking out this high and closing below it. So that's the only thing. If I miss a sell on it, that means I missed that idea because that's what I'm expecting and it's not playing out. But currently, it's moving fine. This is on a daily time frame perspective. We have a sell right here, and this sell is also an attribute of plenty sell for plenty days because of one bullish anchor candle, which was this candle right here. And price is just following this. True, this is CRT, right? And of course, yes, if you look at that perspective, you realize the market is just returning back the favor of the entire bullish momentum, then looking for more buy. If the price actually gets into this level for more buy, it would be a fantastic opportunity in the future to expect significant sell. But right here on daily time frame, higher highs and higher lows stands, and we should be expecting a sell at some point. Where would that be? Let's go to the daily time 4 hour time frame. I mean, go to the 4 hour time frame perspective. If you get there, you will see this level we marked since last week, and I'm expecting the price to do what, to move into this range. If you can see this 28th of November, and at some point last week we also talked about it, which was around that 28 and sorry 20 whatever it is. But then this is Tuesday, okay, 24th, right? 24th. So my projection was to see the price covering up for this entire void right here. Let the price come into this range, because right here it's now looking like we have a support zone, and demand will always be below your support right there, and you can see. So basically, I'm expecting the price to just get into this range. I'm going to shift this guy a little, like this, like this, like this. So I'm going to expect the price to do it, to shift into this level before we have a buy. So the buy zone is just within here. I'll be expecting the price to react to that. And any ITs, trade with proper risk management. Don't trade beyond what you can risk in the market. If it's not going to give you a proper good sleep, please don't take the trade. So for me, it is a good outlook for me on the USDJPY. I'm watching out for this one. And going forward to the next one, we have the USDCHF. This is also looking great, because my projection on this is to see the price bouncing into this range as well. And the price has not gotten there, and I'm still waiting. I want to see the price bounce into it in the future. So if the price do that, that would be a fantastic opportunity for me to do what? For me to buy in the future. So basically, let's keep it simple. 4 time frame perspective on USDCHF, this is how it looks like, and you can tell we're looking for just clean price action, which we are seeing, and this is the range I'm expecting the price to get into. So higher highs and higher lows kind of formation is all over the places. And then on the daily time frame perspective for that, you can see we are in a range. Of course, we are in a range, a very long range. We've been there for a long time now. Can you see that since July? And I'm expecting the price to break out of that range, at least let's have a significant movement above that level. So based on that, it's based on what the market is showing. That's what we're forecasting. And if the market changes tomorrow, it changes course. Why not? We change our direction as well. And that keep us simple, safe, and healthy in the market. Going to the next one right there is the Great Britain pounds JPY. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Probably in the course of the week, I will do that. But right here, I'm not interested. Then Great Britain pounds, Canadian dollar. Of course, yes, this moved the way we anticipated. I was expecting and projecting for more bullish momentum on this guy too till it gets here. Currently, it's doing all of this buying and selling, fake out for that streak. It has moved into this range, but the same momentum was good, but was not really like you see it, a lot of sketchy one right there. But I will still be expecting more bullish momentum. I'm not talking about this too. Probably in the course of the week, I'll do that with my students. But going forward, Great Britain pounds AUD, they hold the same buyers with me. If you check that out, this is giving a buy signal right there. It has created a new high for last week, which was here. Inverted and shoulder pattern, people. This is what you have here. And it's respecting the trend line, people. This is what you have here. So what does that mean? Waiting for the third touch, which is the reference point, you already have it. And that suggests a buy, right? But ideally, let's just wait and see how this will play out. I don't want to go into the deeper part of this one for this week. And on gold particularly, let's talk about gold. And on weekly time frame perspective, we can tell it's a massive bullish momentum at the end of the day on gold. And last week we had it as a buy momentum. As you can see, like I said, it was a good one, but I wasn't waiting for it to move into that range down long. But at the end of the day, it's about how the market really shows the reaction. And then we only follow the reaction based on the forecast we have. Every single time, good US dollar has been creating higher highs and higher lows for some times now, though we have a very long void over the time since the last time we had August 18th, the market has actually moved significantly this direction. So all of the market commentary that you see, you hear is about what the forecast is all about. And at the end of the day, they are all subjective to the fundamentals. So keep your portfolio safe. Now, that is the outlook on the weekly time frame perspective, expecting after this void, actually technically we'll be expecting the market to move bearish, of course, before we have a momentum for a bullish ride in the future. But on the daily time frame perspective, let's check out what we have here. On the daily, we've seen the market moving. For last week, we had a significant bullish momentum, right? And I told you last week that I would be expecting the price to actually do more of a sell into this range before I'm going to buy. But for me, of course, I'm not going to join the sell momentum, but I want to see it get here before I buy. buy. So if that should be the case, that means the buy is more better as an option than for a sell. So I won't get caught in that. I will only expect the market to do a bit of this back and forth and move into this kind of range. But let's see that on the 4-hour time frame perspective, and also I will go to the 4-hour time, 1 hour time frame after that. Then 4-hour time frame, what do I have here? It's very simple. We've seen the price significantly pushing to the upside, which is to complete a cycle. What do I mean? Look at this range from here to here. We have a significant momentum that breaks the previous low structure right here before we have a failure swing between this level and this level. Over the time, the neckline has been broken, close above it, and also we had wicks closing below it, meaning the bulls are in charge and they are throwing rejection to the downside, meaning we want to really buy. Now, buying means we want to complete a cycle, going through a supply zone before we buy, before we sell off in the future. And currently, look at where the price is and look at where we have the beginning of this swing. So if you're going to check that, really, all we have to do is to bring out your box right here and to look at that zone completely. How do we have a sell momentum from here? This is the entire range that I'm going to mark. Of course, the middle point is my most preferred entry point at 1.4235.194, and that is the outlook I have there. And basically, if you check out this on lower time frame too, it means that we may actually be having more sell momentum from here, a little bit more. And then we have a fair value gap between here and here before this level was taken out, but that makes more sense on higher on lower time frame perspective. So if you're going to check that now, it means more like we're going to see more bullish momentum. I want to see the price actually push more into here before pushing down there. But let's go to the lower time frame, like 1 hour, and see if that also aligns with the market momentum. So if you're doing that on the 1 hour time frame, that means we have to refine. If we're refining, that means this is the level we'll be working about, and this is the zone right here. With this outlook, therefore, I will not jump on a sell right now for you. I'd rather wait to see the price actually still dump into this level. Rather, when it gets here, I will expect more sell momentum on it. But currently, this is the 1 hour time frame perspective. This is what I'm looking at, and at the end of the day, I hope this makes sense for you. Now, the last one I'll talk about before I leave would be the BTC US dollar. If you're analyzing this technically, let's go to the main chart. On the weekly time frame perspective, let's see what we have here. Over the time, I've thought about that we'll be having a momentum to the buying and to the selling side, and the rest of that, grab liquidity here and there, blah, blah, blah. But that's just by the way. On the weekly time frame perspective, we have significant sell momentum, which I'm expecting the price to actually take out this sell side liquidity before we have a buy. So last week was a complete bullish momentum for the price right here. At an area of value, the candlestick formation here is bullish Arami. And what does that mean? More bullish momentum. But don't get lost in a fake out. Let's go to the daily time frame perspective and further see what that means. And of course, on that zone as well, we had a tiny zone for a fair value gap, which the market respected last week. I think on 4 time frame, and it gave the entire bullish momentum over 6,000 plus. I mean, 6,000 points. Now it did about 7,000 points, 7,700 points, which was significant. And going into the daily time frame perspective now, I have a range here, which is a very fair value gap zone with what the price is showing. Would it mean that the price will actually get here to respect it? We have more sell momentum. Well, whether that or not, let's go to the lower time frame perspective. But check me out here. Look at what we have. We have a significant zone here that was broken, and this was a trap in the market. We have a significant buy since then. This is the next level I'll be looking at to see what the market will likely create. And as you can see, my previous arrow here is pointing towards that direction, which is an alignment. But going to the 4 hour time frame perspective, let's see what we have here. On the 4 hours, we have bullish momentum, and this was from where I projected last week. The market moved just like I projected, and if you check it out very well on the 4 hour time frame perspective, this is a fair value gap zone. It was very tiny, yes, of course I know that, but the market actually respected it, and it did about 7,700 points in the market over the week. And then currently on the 4 hour time frame perspective, this is more like a cycle that has not completed yet, but I will wait to see how this zone will be completed. And then it takes me back to the daily time frame perspective and show you something significantly. On this one right here, I'll just be waiting. Let me just follow the flow in the market. Okay. I want to see on 1 hour time frame. Let me just go to 1 hour. I think the 1 hour should make it simpler. But yeah, I want to see more momentum on a sell side. So I'm taking this out from the market. I'm taking it out, and the market looks good. If it sell from where it is currently, based on this range that we're having over the time, this is another level that looks good for a demand zone. in the future. So peradventure, if the price taps into this range, it would be a good opportunity for a buy. It could be a short-term buy, regardless, but this is 1 hour time frame. So what do you expect? That kind of short movement. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'll be stopping for this week. I wish you profit ahead of you through proper risk management, and don't over leverage your accounts. Check this out, like, share, and comment. I'll be expecting your comments, and I will definitely respond during the week. And I'll talk about the rest of the currency pairs in course of the week. So then, enjoy the rest of the week and have a wonderful month ahead of you. Bye for now.